I want to talk about how to stay calm under pressure, about self-leadership and what it means to me, and how I'm using self-leadership to improve my outcomes. So, in my case, I often have the following scenario play out. I have a vision of what I want to do. For example, now in this video, how I want to present myself and what I want it to look like. And after some seconds or periodically, I notice there is a strong nervousness arising inside of me, which is starting to doubt everything. For example, it might sound like, I can't do it, but what if I fail midway? People will laugh at me or something like that. And then my usual impulse is to throw in the towel, say, it's too hard, I can't do it. But now what I'm doing is self-leadership, which means I notice this voice and I decide to keep going even though I'm feeling nervous. So self-leadership for me is to keep your calm, keep centered when you are starting to doubt yourself. Actually, it's holding your vision when doubts are starting to arise. And this voice, it can be subtle. It can disguise itself as being reasonable or helpful. For example, it might sound like, but that might not be 100% accurate. Maybe you want to put in a disclaimer here. But this is actually not a helpful voice. With self-leadership, you decide that what you've said is good enough for what you wanted to communicate and you move on. You don't dwell on any point too long, because dwelling on a point too long is often a lack of decisiveness and missing confidence. It's often disguising itself as a reasonable voice, but in fact it's self-sabotage. So self-leadership is really to stop self-sabotaging like that. You hear the voice which might interject something, but you decide to keep going where you've set out your vision in the first place. Self-leadership is also when you notice, for example, like right now, that some nervousness is arising and you have the tendency to talk more quickly or to make unnecessary movements. You also observe the urge and then you hold your center. This is also a form of self-leadership. So, self-leadership for me is to reiterate it not self-sabotaging by following voices that are disguised as reason, and also not throwing in the towel midway, but instead holding the vision you've set out in the first place.